So the 2026 Combine is here and is one of my favorite times of the year. Even in a draft class like this for Dynasty football that sucks outside of your top one pick, not really sucks, there's maybe 4 or 5 picks. It's still fun to watch, and there's still a lot of guys that I think with a good showing at the Combine could move up the Dynasty draft boards as well as the NFL draft boards. Let me start out with running back. I'm bummed that Singleton had the foot injury and he doesn't get to compete because there's 4 guys that I was really wanting to watch just to kind of see how they performed, see if I move them up, make them worthy of getting into a late first round pick in some of the drafts. Not NFL dynasty drafts, obviously, but I wanted to see Kaytron Allen and Nick Singleton both compete because being a 1-2 punch, depending what draft board you look at, you see some have Allen ahead of Singleton and some have Singleton ahead of Allen. Singleton's more your speed back, Allen's your big back. I do think that Allen is probably more of like your third down back, where personally I like Singleton as a 3 down back. Now this foot injury, we'll see what happens there. But I think Kaytron Allen could really do a lot for himself, dynasty value-wise, with a good performance at the Combine. But outside of that, I really like Jonah Coleman. He's someone I've really been watching. He's a little bit on the smaller side, but he plays bigger than 5'9". He's a lot like your old style muscle hamster with a little bit better of a receiving game. He's efficient in the receiving game. He runs hard. He runs heavy. And he's shifty. The problem is he doesn't have that high-end speed as your prototypical 3 down back would be. So I'd like to see how he comes out, how his 40 time looks, how his hands look, and see if he can move up and be the number 2 running back off the board, probably go in the mid first round for a lot of drafts. A little bit deeper down, I'm watching Mike Washington Jr., 6 foot, 228 out of Arkansas. I think he's got the potential to have a good combine. He's big. He's got good vision, good contact balance. Again, proficient in the receiving game. I think he's slept on at someone with a good combine. Could move up and possibly move into the first round of your 10-12 team dynasty drafts. So at running back, those are a couple guys that I'm looking at. We know there's 3 guys at the top of the wide receiver chain, Lemon, Tyson, and Tate. Jordan Tyson's fallen because of his injury history, although some places or some draft boards do have him still as the best receiver off the board. So I think a good combine could solidify or justify why he would be off the draft board. And I'm talking dynasty draft boards because landing spot could make all 3 of these guys shittier than what they should be as far as draft capital goes. But outside of those guys, there's 3 guys I really like for different reasons. I like Denzel Boston out of Washington, 6'4", 209. Great hands, has been good in the return game. He's good after the catch, and I like that size at 6'4", that someone who is not just 6'4" and only a red zone receiver. I think he can be used all around the field, and I think in the right landing spot, you could argue that he could be drafted to your dynasty team with those top 3 guys. KC Concession, I like him for his size and speed. Dynamic player. He's going to fit well where someone like Raji Rice, who can't stay out of trouble, loses his spot and they need someone to step in and be that type of player. I could see him doing well. I want to see him make the catches. I want to see his hands at the Combine. I want to see his foot movement at the Combines, like the 3-cone drill. I really want to see how he performs and stuff like that to see where I want to put him, to see if I take him in the top 6 or 7 of an NFL draft, of a dynasty draft. And then the last guy is possibly my favorite wide receiver in this draft, Omar Cooper Jr. He's only 6 foot, but to me, he plays more like 6'3", 6'4". He's got amazing hands, was key to Indiana getting that championship. Like the catch he had, the awareness to keep his feet down against Penn State in the end zone. I like the confidence and the hands that he has. And if he shows that in the NFL Combine, I'm taking him in the first round of my fantasy drafts because I think he'll be that 3rd down back, that end zone back for a team that has a number 1 and can come in and be a great wide receiver number 2. So quarterback and tight end are very simple. You got Fernando Mendoza and you got Sadiq. Let's go quarterback. Right now, Ty Simpson is the number 2 consensus, kind of, but I do think that with a good combine, Alar, Nussmeier, and Beck could jump him for number 2 quarterback in the NFL, as well as off your dynasty draft boards. I don't think Ty Simpson has that locked down. And I love this year for quarterback because so many years in the past, quarterbacks don't throw or participate. And because this is such a weak class and they all really need to show what they have in order to get the contracts, the money, the draft capital, it's great to see them throw, which for us, it says, hey, are any one of these guys worth drafting in the first round after Mendoza? Tight end, Sadiq, consensus number 1. He's going to go in the first round of a dynasty draft, especially to a team that needs it. The one guy who I'm hoping does well and I'm thinking can be slept on, Joe Royer, Cincinnati, 6'5", 250. He doesn't have a broad route tree, but the routes he does run, he moves on them well. He's not the crispest, but he's athletic. He makes a great catch, and yards after the catch are there. I think he's got the potential to go in an offense and do really well. But the one thing I want to see with him is how does his route running look in the combine? How sharp does he look? How are those hands, especially in all the ball drills? How's his foot movement? I know he's quick already. How's his foot movement in the 3-cone drill? But he's a guy who I think could have a great combine and then end up being the number 2 tight end off the draft board for Dynasty drafts. Anyway, the combine's here. It is a great time of the year for NFL fans and Dynasty football fans because you get those sleepers. You get your pukas. Anyway, I'm excited. So that was it. That's who I'm watching. If you care, comment, tell me who you're watching. I don't care. This is just my 2 cents, and I'm putting it out here for you to see because I like to do this shit. Anyway, happy combine.